All right, so with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, you now have a bunch of conservative states that are being very extreme in terms of where they're going next. So some states have full abortion bans. They had, what were they called, trigger laws or something, snapback laws, whatever they were, where second Roe versus Wade is overturned, abortion's illegal in their states. Some states don't even have exceptions for rape or incest. Texas is now trying to get creative in terms of how they go after abortion. Well, just when you think they can't go a step further in a more extreme direction, they come up with a new super extreme idea. So listen to this. This was on News Nation talking to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton.
There's a lot of Texas-based companies. There's now dozens, if not hundreds of companies that say that they will pay as part of their medical benefits for people in Texas or in Missouri or anywhere else to go to another state for an abortion procedure. Dick's Sporting Goods, among them, said they'll pay $4,000 for someone who's covered by their insurance to travel along with a spouse or friend or anybody else to help them. Is that something that Texas is going to go after?
You know, we're going to look at it. It's actually a new concept for us, these corporations deciding to pay for people to go get their abortions. And we're going to be looking at whether the language covers at least the civil side. And that's obviously what we can deal with. And so, these penalties could even be for corporations over $100,000 per violation. So we'll see. We're looking at that literally as we speak.
So what he's saying is all these companies have now come out in the wake of Roe versus Wade being overturned, and they want to be more socially progressive because that's the majority of the population is socially progressive. So they're trying to ride the wave of public opinion on this. Corporations are already disliked. Usually what they do is, since they're so economically conservative, they try to throw a bone to the public on social issues. That's why you always have, you have some random soulless CEO who kneels and says Black Lives Matter or some shit, or some CEO holding up a rainbow flag. They try to be more liberal on social issues. And also they want to appeal to the entire, country. So they want to be as inclusive as possible. So on the issue of abortion, you have all these corporations saying, look, if you work in a red state and, our corporation is there, we'll pay for you to have an out-of-state abortion. Like, we'll pay. That's part of your health care, effectively. And so now the Attorney General of Texas is saying, we're looking at fining the corporations $100,000 every time they do that. Hold on. This flies directly in the face of what they say is their economic philosophy. Free market capitalism. Let the businesses decide. That's why they're against regulation, right? Let the businesses decide. Let them do it on their own. They can regulate themselves. Here you have a corporation or corporations. Rarely do they do the right thing. This is an instance of them being like, okay, look, we'll pay for your healthcare to get an abortion if you want to go to another state, etc. In that instance, the one time they do something decent, they're like, no, we're going to use the force of the state to crack down on that and fine you if you do it. So big government is going to get involved in an authoritarian way and regulate you, over-regulate you, and fine you $100,000 for every single one that you do. Come on, man. This is absurd. This is so absurd. So just understand. So apparently their economic beliefs are not as important to them as their social beliefs, especially the evangelical Christian types. The social beliefs rise above and are more important because they're willing to violate the economic beliefs all the time. Here's another example. They always say, we don't like big government, but they're totally fine with corporate socialism, bailouts for big corporations, right? They love that. So they like big government if it's paying off their CEO buddies. They don't like big government if big government is giving you like an unemployment check or something. That they don't like. So again, they're violating those core economic beliefs, the beliefs they say they have. And this is just the clearest example of it ever. The hatred of abortion overrides any sort of economic principles they have. And they're willing to use the force of government to try to mandate an end to abortion. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, these guys are so extreme. But understand something. What you're seeing here is why in the generic ballot now, Democrats are up on Republicans. This is why. Because their beliefs on social issues are so extreme And people don't agree with them. They just don't agree with that. And so they're paying the price because you have a do-nothing president who's got a 36% approval rating. We got inflation. We got high gas prices. We got the war going on in Ukraine. And we send Ukraine billions of dollars like every other week. All these things lined up against Biden. But the Democrats are still now ahead of the Republicans because people see this extremism on social issues for what it is. Extremism. So there you have it. I mean, it doesn't get any more extreme than this. This is super extreme. I mean, trying to criminalize, and they're doing this too, trying to criminalize somebody who, free of their own volition, travels from one state to another state to get an abortion because it's legal in this state and not legal in their current state. They're trying to criminalize that. How can you do that? How can you criminalize that? It's not like that is literally not your jurisdiction, quite literally. How are you going to try to regulate somebody going to a different state? A free American, they're able to go wherever they want in this country, but they're trying to make it so. No, that's not the case. It's astonishing how far they're willing to go. And they're not going to stop it. They're not done yet, man. They're going to keep going. And there will, at some point, Mike Pence even talked about it, bring up a national abortion ban to even try to ban it in blue states. So all the talk of like, oh, it's all about states' rights and let the states decide, out the window. The second they achieved the overturning of Roe versus Wade, now it's, what can we do to go further? Let's try a nationwide abortion ban. Buckle up. They're going to try soon.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.